The Google Pixel 4a is designed and priced with people who want to get a phone but not break the bank in mind. In this episode, we'll take a close look at the Pixel 4a and also I'll be giving you my final thoughts on it. Welcome to Honest Straightforward Reviews, where I provide you with product reviews funded by me, thus eliminating bias towards a product, giving you a honest, unbiased review. At a starting price of just $5.99, the option to update to Android 11 straight out of the box and Google's promise that the phone will get updates for the next 3 years, it's hard not to like the Pixel 4a. The only problem that I have as a person locked in Apple's ecosystem would be to switch over to an OS that's not iOS. Stick around till the end to find out how this Apple fanboy fared in making the scary switch from iOS to Android. The last time I used a non-Apple phone as my main phone was back in the year 2013, and the phone that I was using was Samsung's flagship Galaxy S4, which ran Jelly Bean. Yes, you heard me right. For those of you whom are young or have never used Android phones, Google used to name its operating systems after desserts. The Jelly Bean or Android 4.2.2 came with the phone, and if you were lucky, your phone provider would provide you with the Lollipop update. And you guessed it right, Lollipop was Android 5.0.1. Anyways, without getting too far off track, in short, I hated my experience with the S4. I didn't get updates on time. I had to wait for Google to push it out to Samsung and for Samsung to then push it out to the phone provider. And if they made changes, they would send it back to Google and get approval and all that for it to get released to public and get to me. And if it wasn't a flagship phone and if S5 came out, then your S4 would be waiting forever to get an update or never get it. I also hated that I didn't have iTunes, and every time I corrected my music files, the name or something like that, or added album art, the S4 would duplicate it, meaning my 60 gig music library all of a sudden looked more like 110 gigs, and I was running out of storage. However, as you can appreciate, a lot has changed since, and I wanted to see what this phone had to offer. Google Pixel 4a got released on 20th of August 2020 and just weighs at 143 grams and with only 8.2mm thickness. Comes with Android 10 straight out of the box, and you can update it to Android 11. It has a beautiful always-on 5.81-inch OLED HDR display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels. Inside, it's got a Qualcomm 8nm Snapdragon 730G, which is an octagon CPU with two 2.2 GHz heavy-duty cores and 6 low-powered cores that run at 1.8 GHz. It also has an Adreno 618 GPU with 6 gigs of RAM and a 128 gig internal storage. On the back of it, it has an auto-HDR 12.2 megapixel camera with LED flash, which can record 4K at 30 FPS, Full HD at 3060 and 120 FPS, while in the front it has a 8 megapixel auto HDR Full HD camera. It has stereo speakers, and yes, it comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack as well. The 3140 milliamp non-removable battery is charged with a 18-watt USB-C charger, which is included in the box. For your security, it has a fingerprint reader at the rear of the phone, which I found to be just in the right spot. You can just hit it and it always works. I think it's better and more refined than the second generation Touch ID that Apple offers. The only thing that kind of lets the Pixel 4a down is the Snapdragon 730G processor. Having said that, I think Google made the right choice in implementing the Snapdragon 730G, as it's quite powerful but not the best. And that is fine because the Google Pixel 4a doesn't set out to conquer all the other Android phones out there by being the absolutely most powerful phone. Rather, the Pixel 4a is aimed at being a cheaper alternative while not being a poor quality phone. Google, by using Snapdragon 730G, has ensured that the Pixel 4a is a very competitive phone at a bargain price. For the price of just $5.99, the camera does a fantastic job. It matches nearly all the functions that expensive phones have. Easily, my most favorite aspect of the phone is the inclusion of night mode, which allows one to take photos in the dark without having the flash come on. I found this very useful when taking photos in the dark without disturbing the subject with a flashlight. If you don't mind having the phone with just one lens at the back, then you can't go wrong with this. The 3140 milliamp battery offers heavy all-day use. I could use it all day without having any issues. It is not the absolute best, but it isn't quite too far off either. On days that I didn't use the phone as much, I could easily get a day and a half without needing a charge. Due to the 18-watt fast charging charger that it comes with, it charges 0 to 100 in just an hour, just over an hour, which is fantastic. Okay, this is the Google Pixel 4a, which is Google's really cheap option for their phone, and frankly, it's really impressive. First of all, let me get into it. It's got this up there, the speakers. It really sits right up there. So what it does is it doesn't actually create a notch here to stop the screen. The screen is actually pretty big for a phone this size. It's the same size as an iPhone 11 Pro, and also the camera cutout is just there. So it's not too intrusive. Okay, and how you unlock this phone is just as normal at the back, which is a really comfortable area. It's got one camera, and the camera is really good. The other feature that I really love about this phone is the flash. When you turn on the flash as a torch in the night, it's not white and really bright like the iPhone one. This has a bit of a yellowish tinge to it, which I like a lot about it. Now, also what I like is both the volume and the power button being on one side. What that means for myself is that I can put it on a surface like this without it being like that, or without it being pressing onto the volume or power button, whereas on the iPhone you'll have them on this side. Volume rocker would be on this side and the power would be on that side, and no matter which side you'll put it on, it can kind of press the button to reduce the volume or lock the screen, whereas you wouldn't being on this side, all of it, you would negate it by putting it that side. The only problem is, after getting used to it, I would unlock the screen and watch a video like that, and what that'll do is cover the camera a tiny bit, and by covering the camera a little bit, it'll make the camera think it's in a darker room, and it'll turn the screen right down, the brightness on the screen right down, which is really annoying for myself. That's one of the annoying things that I found. The speakers on this are really good as well. They're not too bad. They're down here, and amazingly, Apple has to take a book out of Google's phone, and USB-C charging. There you go. Now that's it. Okay, that just got unlocked. I'll show it to you again how quick it is. There you go. Now, what I love about the software in here is, number one, I'll go into it. So when you're recording a screen, this is what Apple misses out on. When you have this option, you can turn on, so I'll bring this a little bit closer. So when you're doing a screen recording, not only do you have the option to record your audio, but also have the option to have it from the device as well. So device audio and microphone, which is really helpful for myself, because when I am doing work on other channels where I have to have the volume on as well, of the device and my microphone as well, it's really helpful, whereas Apple doesn't do that. Apple either has the option to record the volume of the device which you're playing, whatever you're playing on there, or you can have your own microphone turned on, which is very annoying for myself. Now, other than that, that's basically the things that I really like about this phone. Also, the size is really good. Now, the size is good because of the weight ratio, the size to weight ratio. So what I'll say about that is, the weight on this is only 143 grams, whereas the iPhone 11 is nearly 200 grams. So there's a massive difference between them. Yes, given it's a phone that has stainless steel bezels on the side and it's got a glass back, this doesn't. But it's not. It's a really good phone for $600, $599. For God's sakes, the new Apple Watch Series 6 sells for the same price as a fantastic phone. It doesn't have the latest processor or anything like that, but that's fine for what it does and what it's meant to do. If you want a cheaper phone that does everything and you're not really fussed with the latest and greatest processor, then this is the phone. I really like that about this, that Google didn't spend really big on the processor and yet still gave a really decent phone with a decent screen. I really like the screen as well. It's quite good. Like, that's full screen, guys. That's like, you can't go wrong with that. How good is that? I really like this. All you have is that little camera cutout. It's not intrusive like a big kind of bezel there, you know. All right, guys, now you might be wondering why I'm looking at the cheap headphones that you get with wide headphones that you get with the Google Pixel. The reason is, let me get into it. First of all, it's got a really nice soft feel to it. It's got this nice soft cabling and it's quite thick as well. And it doesn't sound that bad either for something that comes for free. And the only problem I'll have with it, it doesn't have a volume control, but it's got the reject button, pause button, and a mic here. The mic is quite clear. However, it's not as good as the AirPods that you get with the iPhone. I find the sound quality on that is a lot better for the other person on the other side. Now, the reason I really love them is how it sits flush inside your ears. They're really nice. I really like the design of it. Now, I haven't gotten the time to take these off, but they come off, so it looks really nice. I really like the look of it. It's really small and minimalistic. And the thing that I really love about them is when I'm going out for a walk with the AirPods that you get with the Apple ones, you have to really turn it up to just like cancel out all the noise outside. Whereas these ones, they come with noise isolation. So what these do, these buds, they introduce noise isolation. So they seal off your ears and it's known as noise isolation. So it stops my ears from getting hurt as badly. The noise isolation is really nice to have. I can really turn the volume down while able to hear my music and podcasts and whatever I'm listening to when I'm going out or about. And it's really comfortable as well. It's not fallen out of my ears at all, not even once. So that's really cool. In my books, like I would take them any day over the AirPods just on that factor, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys about this. Being at this low price means that you miss out on water resist, micro SD card slot, and wireless charging, which I don't have a problem with at all. Google had a mission to make a low-cost phone without missing too many things, and I believe Google has made the phone with just the right ingredients. Verdict. While the Google Pixel 4 gets outperformed by its competitor, the iPhone SE second generation, by quite a bit, as the iPhone SE sports a A13 Bionic chip, which is the same as Apple's flagship iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is impressive, but it comes at a price tag of $829 for the 120 gigs. That is a whopping $230 price difference at such a low end. I wouldn't have any issues recommending the Pixel 4a any day of the week given everything on offer at this low price. If you need a low-cost phone and you don't want to be stuck to Apple's ecosystem, then this is a great phone without a doubt. Okay guys, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up because it helps people find it. And also, if you haven't subscribed, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and I also have a link below for my Patreon account. Please give that consideration because it helps us keep the channel going. Thank you so much. Bye.